Greetings, my empire. Drazel here, back with another video, and today we're gonna be doing an ESO class prediction tier list for PvP. Now I know what you might be thinking, yo, what are you talking about? What is a class prediction tier list? Listen, a class prediction tier list is something I did, I started doing a while ago on the channel, to where I will make a class tier list for an update before it went live, before it came out. I would make the tier list. Then when the update did actually go live and come out, I would see if I actually got my tier list correct and I had accurately tiered the classes. The classes are performing how I expected them to perform in the update. You know what I'm saying? So today we're going to be doing that for update 33. I've been reading the patch notes a lot lately for the update, and I feel like I got a good grasp on things, and I feel like I can accurately tier the classes and how they're going to perform in the update. Now, before we get into this, you already know I want to ask y'all to hit the like button, subscribe, join the empire. You already know, helps me out, helps the channel out, helps the channel grow. And without further ado, let's get into the tier list. So, before I really get into it, let me tell y'all about the tiers. Let me explain the tiers. So, S tier means that the class is going to overperform. It's going to do really, really well. It's above average. It's basically going to be the best pick for the update, the most overpowered pick for the update. A tier, that it means it's the average. It's a good class. It's gonna do good in most situations. It's a solid pick. It's not too broken, but it's not underpowered by any means. It's a good solid pick. B tier means that the class is okay. You're gonna be doing good in some situations. You're gonna be doing bad in some situations. Really, in certain situations, in certain instances, you can perform really, really well, but in certain instances, you're going to have a hard time and you're going to struggle. And C means that the class is going to underperform. It's not going to do really, really well. Compared to the other classes, you just won't perform as well, and you're really going to struggle with the class. Now, let's really get into this list, bro. Let's really get into tiering these classes. So first, we have Magicka. Magicka, I'm going to put in A. In update 33, Magicka did see a couple of nerfs. In my opinion, I feel like they did get a little bit of the short end of the stick, just because of how some of its abilities that it uses, the scaling has changed for some of the abilities. One of these abilities is Engulfing Flames. The damage buff to damage bonus to Engulfing Flames now will scale from a mixture of weapon and spell damage, rather than max Magicka and spell damage. The reason why this is a nerf is because as a Magicka DK, you're not going to invest anything into weapon damage, you know what I'm saying, because you're a Magicka class, but you will invest stuff into max Magicka and spell damage. So weapon damage being thrown into the mix of the scaling will, will definitely see a nerf in damage and Engulfing Flame, just because of weapon damage being mixed into it. Same thing with Volatile Armor. Volatile Armor, it got a scaling change as well, to where the spikes that protrude out your body, the AoE spike damage, will now scale to physical and spell resistance instead of max Magicka and spell damage. This will definitely see a damage nerf, because unless you're running like a high resistance Mag DK build, this is gonna definitely see a damage nerf. But we did see a good buff for Mag DK as well. Burning Embers. Burning Embers did get a buff to where instead of it healing you for 75% of the damage that you deal, you heal for a whole 100% of the damage you deal with the ability. That is a really, really good buff, you feel me? And I feel like it's really going to increase Mag DK's sustainability in open world and PvP in general. Even with these buffs and nerfs, though, I feel like that Mag DK will still be overall a good class. Overall, it's gonna have it's gonna still have its amazing godlike damage. Mag DK, you already know, has some of the best damage of a class in the game. It takes its raw flame damage, having access to one of the best stuns, Petrify. The damage on Mag DK is still gonna be divine. It's still gonna have you pretty decent healing with cold lag, and if you run Cauterize, if you don't run Cauterize, you can run Rapid Regeneration and Resto Staff. DK as a class, really good sustain, really good healing. I feel like Mag DK is still going to be doing good overall, but excluding the debuffs and all of that, I feel like it's still going to be a solid good pick. Moving on to Stam DK, I feel like Stam DK is going to be an A. Now the volatile ability change will actually be a buff in Stam DK in my opinion, because like I said, the ability scales to physical and spell resistance now, and I feel like Mag DKs are going to get more damage from that ability now that it doesn't scale from spell damage in Max Magicka, because as a Stam DK, you're not going to invest anything to spell damage in a lot of Max Magicka. So that being scaled to physical spell resistance now, Mag DK is going to see a little bit more damage with volatile armor. Besides that, the healing changes to this update. If you don't know about the healing changes, basically healing abilities, most healing abilities now will scale to your max, your highest offensive stat. I feel like this is going to be kind of prevalent in Stam DK for abilities like Cauterize. Cauterize now will give you a better heals now, since it will scale to your highest offensive stat. Or I believe Cauterize already scales to your highest offensive stat and might not affect Cauterize, you feel me? But I believe this update will buff Cauterize. The question I have about Stam DK is if Green Dragon Blood will be affected by the offensive healing stat change, you feel me? The healing change. If it is affected, and if the percentage heal is increased when it's scaled to weapon damage now on the Stamina DK, I feel like Stam DK would be an S, because I feel like they would just be a force that wouldn't be able to be killed if you're running Green Dragon Blood, because Green Dragon Blood already gives you a decent heal because it's a percentage heal. Then it being scaled higher because of weapon damage, plus the buffs that it gives you, like minor vitality, major endurance, and the major health recovery buff, just those all on top of a really, really good percentage heal, which is make Stam DK an unstoppable force. Stam DK already is a really good class, really good tick damage, really good burst damage. As a DK, like I said, good healing, good offensive sustain. Sustain while using your abilities. They get a lot of their resources back while using abilities. And yeah, just Green Dragon Blood on top of that, doing more healing for you, plus the buffs. I feel like DK will definitely see an S. But I'm gonna keep it an A, because I'm not truly sure if Colag or Green Dragon Blood will be affected by the offensive healing, the healing changes. So I feel like A is like a safe spot to put Stamina DK. Magplar, I'm putting Magplar in S. Now, Templar, it has seen some changes in Update 33. Those changes are more prevalent to Stamplar than Magplar. Magplar Javelin will go through blocks now, or Javelin in general will go through blocks now, but it won't really affect Magplars, because Magplars, I feel like we're not going to give up toppling charge for Javelin. Toppling charge is a gap closer. It's an off balance. It puts people on their back. It's a really good stun. I feel like we're not going to trade it in for Javelin. I feel like the healing changes, it's not going to really affect Magplar as well. We're not going to be using Vigor. We're not going to be using Rally, none of those stamina heals. But Magplar as a class is really, really broken, especially right now. I feel like what really makes them just super, super broken is their healing. How they could just heal everything in like 2 waves of a hand. Their stationary healing is absolutely insane. They have percentage healing with Ruin Focus. They have a cleanse that heals as well. The best cleanse that heals. They have access to one of the best members in the game, Jabs. Then the Magicka version of the Morph Puncturing Sweeps is the best offensive healing ability in the game. Pretty much when you're fighting somebody coming blows to blow with somebody, chances are, you feel me, most of the time you're gonna out sustain them on the offense, just because the puncturing sweeps give you more healing. You have a lot of Magplars run Vampire, which has even more takiness with Undeath. You could run Mistform, which is a major expedition. You could run Vampire Scion, which gives you even more healing with your damage. Just absolutely insane. Magplar is good. Even though this update won't change a lot about Magplar, right, I feel like they're still going to perform the same how they're doing right now, which is really, really good. S tier. Yeah. Templar gets an S for me as well. Templar is actually going to get a couple of buffs in this update. Javelin being one of the buffs, now Templars won't have to be running toppling charge anymore. I feel like Javelin will be, the preferred stun for Templar now, since it goes through blocks now, and it will be harder for people to play around, Templar now. Like they won't be able to block Javelin anymore. It goes through blocks, so it's a definite stun, and Templars have opportunities to do way more, just do the damage they need, even on tankier specs, just do the damage they need. They have access to jabs, which I said is the best move in the game. Another buff that Templars will see is the healing, the healing changes. Now cleansing ritual will scale to, your weapon damage now, so you were going to get good heals from the cleansing ritual now, plus ruin focus giving you percentage heals, which is going to be crazy. We might even see a couple of Templars running restoration stat to get the rapid regeneration ability, just for even more heals. It's going to be absolutely crazy, and I feel like Templar is going to just be on top now, mainly because of that cleansing ritual giving them just so much stationary potential, being able to defend a lot of things and fight fight in one place and just dominate and hit circles. You know what I'm saying? So Templar easy as Templars in general already has really good heals. Like I said, access to jabs, decent resource sustain. If you want movement speed on Templar, Sigil Order, or you could run dual wield. You get Sigil Order and you get race against time, or you can run dual wield and run quick cloak. So Templar really good. I'm gonna put them in S. Next we have Mag Warden. I'm gonna put Mag Warden in C. Mag Warden is a really iffy class for me. Now Warden in general is not seeing a lot of changes. Mag Warden did get actually a buff to their beetles. To now their beetles is gonna give them a instead of 6 seconds to the major breach debuff on enemies, that debuff is going to last for 30 seconds, which is, not 30 seconds, I'm bugging out. Instead of 6 seconds, it's going to go up to 10 seconds, which is pretty decent. It's going to give Mag Wardens a little bit more of a window to do their damage while that person is debuffed. But Mag Warden as a class, I feel like is more of a support class. They really do just best in support. They have really good heals for their teammates. They have really good crowd control with their their ults with healing thicket, giving them giving players a lot of healing, and basically can buff the whole team in a team fight. Then they have that frost ult that slows everybody, gives the Magplar major protection and does damage as well. They have really good group utility and can really help the group a lot. But the class as an independent really doesn't do well. They really don't have too much damage, and when they have too much damage, they're really, really squishy and they're really easy to take out. Of course, they're fast. They have a good mobility because they're Warden. Really fast, but overall this class independently is not good. But in group, like this tier list, I'm looking at classes as an independent. As a group utility, it does really, really well, but as an independent, it doesn't really do anything at all. Going head to head with somebody, you're probably going to die on Magplar, and that's just what it is. Now, I said Magplar, Mag Warden. I don't know. I have Templar on the brain. You feel me? Mag Warden. I don't know if I was calling Mag Warden Magplar this entire time. It's Mag Warden, bro. Now, Stan Warden, on the other hand, I feel like is going to be godlike in this update because they're getting a couple of buffs. First, the whole healing buff to the highest offensive stat is, oh my god, is going to be good on Stan Warden, because now Stan Wardens is going to have access to all the magical heals in their class abilities and green pack. So all those skills they're gonna have access to, and they can just utilize all of those like living trellis. Now living trellis, they're gonna really have really good heals with that ability. You might even see some stand wardens running restoration stats for rapid regeneration as well, getting even more healing from that. And yeah, but stand warden in the update, like changes specific to them, they didn't really get any big changes, but I still feel like they're gonna perform how they've always performed really well. Amazing speed, medium armor with wings on the stand warden is just amazing. It really, like, to be honest, speed is king, and speed really transfers to mitigations in this game. Like, really, it transfers to mitigations. Like, if you can't, like, think about it. If you can't touch the target, you can't damage them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many instances where I'm on Mag Warden and I'm getting chased by multiple people, and they're just not hitting me with their abilities because I'm just too fast. I'm roll dodging, I have infinite roll dodges, and then I just turn around, burst them down. You know what I'm saying? Mag Warden has amazing burst, amazing speed, amazing resource sustain. They're versatile in what they can use. They can use dual wield sword and shield. Then you can use dual wield bow. They can use a lot. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you feel me? I feel like they're really gonna do good in this update. And what's gonna really buff them is that they're gonna be able to use all those magic heals they have in their class abilities. Next, we have Mag Sorc. Mag Sorc, I'm going to put at A. Sorc, Sorc didn't really get any, changes, really prevalent changes specifically to the class. Any, no big buffs or nerfs to the class in general, but the only thing that the update really, impacts about Sorc is the healing changes. I don't know if Dark Deal will be affected by the the highest offensive scaling thing. It might be. If it is, I don't feel like it's gonna be a big enough impact for me to put put it in S tier or anything, bro. But it is, it's good for Sorcs. If it won't impact Dark Deal, then whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sorc still it's just in the same standing. Max Sorc really good, and really good, what's it called? Really good resource sustain. Like I said, with Dark Deal, you can basically take one resource, put it to the other. Max Sorcs have some of the best anti Zerg downs. You feel me? That's why I'm gonna call it anti Zerg down, to basically where they can get out of any situation. They could just streak. Their streak stuns everybody in its path. Then you streak a couple of times. Then if your resources are low, bam, do Dark Deal, get all your Magicka back that you use from streak. They have access to shields. Shield stacking is really good on Mag Sorc. You know what I'm saying? It makes them really, shields. Shields is okay, you feel me? I won't say it's good. Shields is okay, and Shields is really the reason why I won't put Max Sorc in S, because Shields is really really squishy a little bit when it comes to ticks. Ticks really eat Shields like crazy, and you're gonna run into a lot of Mag DKs, DKs in general, Nightblades in general, tick builds in general, or just burst builds in general. And your shields is going to go down really easily. That's why you see a lot of Mag Sorcs now are running like tankier builds. They're probably running Gaze of Sithis, or a tank set like Pariah, or you know what's it called, Armor Masters, to get more resistances behind those shields, because shields are get completely eaten at this point, and just shields go down so fast. So if you get your pants called down by while you're on Mag Sorc, you're probably gonna get killed if you're if the person who catches you is like a high damage person, like a Nightblade, which is Nightblades is running around everywhere. So yeah, but Sorc still really good mobility, really good resource sustain. Max Sorc has really good burst damage with Crystal Frags, Haunting Curse. And yeah, they still perform really well, because they can do a lot of good damage from range. Then when people get to them and actually try to when stamina characters specifically try to go up to them and actually try to kill them. All they have to do is streak away, get their resources back, put their shields up, and start bursting them from a range again. So, yeah, Mag Sword, good. I'm gonna put it in A, solid pick. Stamp Sword, I'm gonna put it in A as well. Stamp Sword, same thing. Really good mobility. You know, really good resources staying with Dark Deal. Really good mobility with Streak and Hurricane, giving them minor expedition. Really good burst damage with Crystal Weapon. If you want to pair Crystal Weapon with uppercut, or if you want to run dual wield. Stamp Sword is another class where you could be really versatile in your weapons. You could run, like I said, dual wield sword and shield, dual wield bow, dual wield to it. You could be really versatile with your weapons, because yeah, you could run critical surge. You could play around with crit on a Stamp Sword and run a kind of a crit build with Briarheart, get heals from your crit. Get good heals from your crit, and you don't need rally or anything like that. And yeah, Stamp Sword I feel like is gonna be good update 33. They're gonna stand the same how they are right now. And no really big changes. You might see some Stamp Swords running Restoration Staff. I probably not. You probably won't see a lot of Stamp Swords running Restoration Staff. But they did. Sork in general is gonna stand where they are right now, in my personal opinion, at update 33. Next, we have Magblade. Magblade, I'm going to put in B. Now, right now, this class is trash. It's due to, you already know how I feel about Magblade. They just suck right now. Bombing doesn't even work anymore. I survived bombs just standing there idle. You know what I'm saying? But I'm putting them in B because I have hope. Because of the update 33 changes, we don't see a lot of changes to Nightblade. Not really a lot of big changes to the Nightblade class in general. But the new, the healing changes to the changes to healing abilities might help Magblade, keep themselves up in the fight. Them being able to use stamina heals now, such as Vigor and Rally. I feel like the Magblade meta for update 33 will be two-handed front bar and restoration back bar. We probably gonna still need restoration staff. It's probably gonna still be a must. But I feel like two-handed is going to be a must as well for that rally burst heal, and it's going to be a source of major sorcery as well to buff our spell damage. So I feel like the healing changes, and we might even see some Magblades run Vigor as well to keep themselves up as well. So I feel like these changes are going to maybe put Magblades back in the fight. Nightblades in general have a lot of good things in the kit. Cloak, one of the best things to escape bad situations. Shadowy Image is one of the best kiting abilities in the game. Nightblades as a class has really good burst. I feel like Deathstroke should get a buff. I really was hoping they really need to buff Deathstroke, because it just is like, compared to NCAP, is really bad. I feel like it either needs a stun or another debuff on the enemy, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Next we have is yeah, but I'm keeping it in B. I was going to Stamblade. I'm like, but I'm not even done with Magblade yet. Magblade, I'm gonna keep it in B. I'm hoping I hope these them being able to use stamina heals now will help them, but if it doesn't, it's a definitely C. It's kind of iffy for me. It's kind of the same thing with Stam DK, to where it might be here, but I'm gonna keep it safe here. This I'm reaching with this. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping it's a B, but it's probably gonna be C. I'm probably gonna be wrong with my Magblade prediction. Now Stamblade is gonna be a definite S. Update 33. What's it called? People did say that ganking is gonna get a little bit nerfed for vampire Stamblades, because of Frenzy getting a kind of a change, and it's kind of gonna mess up ganking for Stamblades. I don't know how that whole thing is gonna work. I feel like Stamblades can do good ganking without being a vampire, so I don't really see that whole vampire thing as being really like a nerf to Nightblades to put them in A. I feel like they could do good without being a vampire, or without, they could do their burst damage just from being, regular. You know what I'm saying? Stamblade right now, really good. They're performing monsters right now in PvP. They're just ganking everybody. Ganking is just so freaking crazy. NCAP is one of the best, like one of the best ults in the game. When you get it to 120 ultimate, you get a stun, you get a major defile, and you get extra damage on the person. It's basically a definite kill when you're running a damage build. And if you put that on top of ball orgs and that I forget what that new mythic item is called, when you when you run, every time you run like a full set, you get like 100 weapon damage and like a couple of resistances. I forget what that is called, but a lot of people is running that and they have so much freaking damage. It's absolutely insane. You just see a lot of people getting ganked. You see a lot of people getting bow spam. Nightblade just has so much damage, and it's basically, they do a lot of damage with basically no repercussion, because they can just get out the fight when they want to. They can just hit a smooth roll dodge cloak out the fight, bam, done. And I feel like with update 33, we're going to see a lot of Stamblades running restoration staff. This class is probably the most likely to start running restoration staff on, in update 33, to get that rapid regeneration healing. That rapid regeneration healing on the Stamblade will be absolutely crazy, because not only now you're already doing so much damage, but now you're gonna have more sustain as well, with more burst heals as well with that rapid regeneration. And whatever you're running with, dual wield, and if you're running with rally and paired with the rally heal burst, it's gonna be absolutely crazy for for Stamblade. So I'm gonna put Stamblade as, just because ganking is just, I feel like ganking is still going to be really prevalent in update 33, and I feel like it's just going to be harder to kill Stamblades in update 33 with with these healing changes. Next we have Macro. I'm gonna put Macro in B. Macro, Necro in general, I didn't see a lot of changes in the update 33 patch note. They didn't really get a lot of prevalent changes. Macro is a class that has some group utility, to where you can I see a lot of macros now doing this thing where they run dark convergence. Then when they get everybody with their dark convergence, they use their frost astronauts, or their flesh astronauts to kill all of them. And I really like that. It's group utility. It works in groups. It can actually affect a team fight really well. But only in those situations have I seen macro do really anything. The class as an independent doesn't really do well in terms of damage. I feel like it's so hard to set up damage on macro. You have to be really skillful with how you place your AoEs and stuff like that to really do damage on macro. You can be very tanky on the macro. You know what I'm saying? Necromancer's tanky. You have a lot of healing. You have a lot of resources staying when your pets and stuff. This and that and the third. But just damage in general, you don't have enough damage to take out anybody by yourself. And I feel like macro, you're kind of forced to become a vampire to get the eviscerate ability, because your damage alone is not going to do anything. So macro, I'm going to keep at B. It's going to do okay in certain situations, in those group utility situations when you're running dark convergence. But for the most part, as an independent class, it's not going to really do that well. Now Stamcrow on the other hand, going straight to S. Stamcrow's broken. And it's going to get even more broken in update 33. Spirit Mender is going to get a buff for Stamcrow now, to where they get way more healing with their Spirit Mender. So now not only Spirit Mender is going to give them 10% less damage, now it's going to give them godlike heals as well, on top of the class already being broken. Come on, bro. Stamcrow is one of the best. Stamcrows is one of the best stationary classes in the game. You know what I'm saying? It's rivaled with Templar, you feel me? I feel like they're second to Templar and stationary, but they're just so tanky, and they feel like every time I play a Necro, I feel like I'm playing the game in like the old days where, all those Imperial City or PvP debuffs wasn't on your character. You know what I'm saying? Back then when you actually got health for going into PvP. I feel like I'm playing in those days. They just so tanky. They do so much damage. Blast modes is an AoE uppercut. You know what I'm saying? So tether is just a heal, 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 heal. And if tether actually gets buffed from this from the healing changes, it's actually just icing on the cake. You feel me? If tether gets buffed, but I don't know if tether is gonna get buffed because it doesn't cost a resource. It's a free ability, so I don't know how that's gonna work. But if tether actually gets a buff, that's absolutely insane, bro. Because the ability is already kind of broken in terms of healing, and it getting scaling to weapon damage now on a Stam Crow. Absolutely broken. Spirit Mender giving more healing. Yeah, you feel me? Necro, I feel like is gonna be an absolute force to be reckoned with. They've been an absolute force to be reckoned with, and this buff is just gonna buff. This update is just gonna buff them more. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, man. Let me know if I got the tier list right. You feel me? Let me know if y'all disagree with the tier list. If y'all agree with the tier list, I think I tiered everything kind of correctly. Maybe I could have, like I said, DK might BS if that Kolak thing is a thing, but I think A is a safe spot, and I think Nightblade might be a C, but I'm hoping they're B. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments, and yeah, you feel me? Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, join the Empire, and that's pretty much it. Dre's Empire out. I'm gonna see.